I see you, James, but nobody else.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
We'll be up in a sec.
I'm not much to look at anyway.
that's okay.
Yeah, you ain't missing much.
All right, we're live.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:01.
Okay,
Roll call. Counselor Braverman,
here.
Counselor Donahue,
Here,
Counselor Mankey.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Good. Any
And
public participation?
we have no public.
Oh, no public. Good. I like that.
Yep.
Okay, the first thing on the agenda is the Newington Veterans Firefighters Association request for a roadway dedication. We talked about this, I think, our last two meetings, and they want to dedicate the road in front of Company 5 on Maple Hill for their organization. This is their 70th anniversary too, so it would be appropriate to do it this year, certainly. And I think we talked about not wanting to dedicate rooms, but roadways we've done in the past. We have a roadway dedicated to the fire department. The current fire department, we have one dedicated to Richie Klett.
Yeah.
There's one dedicated to I can't think.
yeah, Bo, can't think of his name. The bridge that's over on the other end of New Britain Ave by Tri-City Plaza, right?
And then there's one dedicated on Richard Street. Bob Solid.
Right, isn't there one on the other end of Main Street heading towards the transfer station too?
That's dedicated to the fire department, the volunteer fire department.
Okay.
In general.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this would be dedicated to just to the Veterans Association of that department.
And this is from the corner of New Britain and Maple to the corner of Maple and Robbins.
Right.
Correct.
Exactly. That section there.
I did an estimated measurement. It's roughly 0.45 miles, just under a half mile.
Yeah. It's not even a half a beer.
Well, they do good work for our town.
Well, and these,
why not?
and not only have they, had served as volunteer firemen, but they've also then continued supporting the department, even though they've retired and no longer active firemen. So I think it's probably fitting. They have done a lot. So.
Oh, good.
I don't have a problem with this one.
Okay.
Okay.
So can I hear a motion?
I'll give you that right on the screen.
Somebody want
I'll read it.
Okay, thank you.
Recommend to the Newington Town Council that the dedication of Maple Hill Avenue, beginning of Britain Avenue, Connecticut, Route 174, heading northerly for approximately 0.45 miles to the intersections of Robbins Ave for the Newington Veterans Firefighters Association.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed and approved.
Perfect.
And this will show up at the town council meeting.
Correct. We'll bring it up Wednesday, next Tuesday.
Okay.
The next one we had this request for, I think it's from the wife of Peter Arbor.
Correct.
To name a room in his honor. As you recall, Peter was a town engineer for many years, and I think he also served on the Conservation Commission.
So is there a room in the planning office that seems most relevant?
Yeah, but
I don't think there's just the office. I don't think there's a separate room.
Yeah.
And I guess I would be opposed to starting naming. There's only so many rooms in a town hall. If we start naming rooms for people, then where does it stop and end? Be honest with you, I'm not even sure that the Mortensen Community Center I would have thought would have come before us before it was renamed. I mean, the Mortensen Community Center got torn down, so there is no Mortensen Community Center as far as I can see. And the same with the Marine Romano room. Not that those people aren't good people, but I guess I'm a little leery about starting to name rooms, because where do you draw the line? And the minute you name, you name it, the Tim Mankey room, someone who has done greater things than I comes up, and now you're stuck with nothing to name unless you start naming, water fountains or flagpoles or.
I
think,
have my name reserved on the third urinal in the restroom, so it's good there.
Well, maybe we need to make criteria for naming. I still think we don't really know why we're naming or who we're naming. That it has to be a significant person or place, or
right.
And then we could use those criteria to make sure that it's a correct naming.
Yeah, I mean, but the criteria kind of gets slanted. I mean, we know why we did one for Richie Klett, but I'm sure there are other people who, spent as much time in the town as Richie did, right?
Right.
This gentleman, for example, too, right?
Yeah. Well, one that comes to mind would be Marie Fox at a future meeting.
Yeah. Marie Fox.
Voting office.
I think in the old town hall, the vestibule, the hallway as you came in the main entrance was called the Reynolds room because of the first selectman.
Yep.
And then there was the Kurt Ambler room was because of Kurt Ambler's contributions. So
and
I think
Helen Nelson.
Helen Nelson, yeah, that was renamed the Helen Nelson room, which is good, but there are other people that there are other people that should get it. Whenever you make a criteria, you're going to find someone who either comes really close to the criteria or over it or under it, and then what do you do? And so I think I still think there's got to be some way to recognize people who contributed to the town in a different format other than naming, giving them a room name. I know that the 150th has discussed putting a kiosk so you could put people's names in a kiosk, and you could you could look up Kurt Ambler, you could look up Peter Arbery, and then have a little brief synopsis of what that person did and what he means to the town. I think that would be appropriate. And even if it just on a rotating basis, it just on one of those TV screens in the hallway that show meetings and stuff, just on a rotating basis, pop up people's names. So they
do with the mayors currently.
Like they do with the mayors currently, right?
Yeah.
And sooner or later we have to put the veterans that those 39 people that died from Newington in our various wars. They need to get recognized again somehow.
I'll tell you guys this as well. We were finishing cleaning out Jeff's room, and we actually found the old town council photos from the 70s and the 80s.
Oh,
wow. We're discussing how we can distribute those and have them available for the public to see everybody seated at the table as a group for all of those different councils.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
That'd
be something that a kiosk could do for us, or somehow throw them up on the screen on a rotating basis. So the council from 1974 would be up there, and you could see those people. And then next, I have one of those picture frames here where I have pictures of the grandkids that every so many seconds it just rotates, and when the kids come over, they love it. They'll sit there for hours watching this slideshow. And even I think that's where you have to go with the naming. But as far as this one from Peter Arbery, I guess I'd be opposed to naming a room.
Yeah, I think once 150th gets to meet, because they couldn't get a quorum in December and they never scheduled a meeting for January. Hopefully we can get them together in February, get them to approve that kiosk and move that project forward.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, it's just, it's like you said, the Mortensen Community Center. People had problems that the new building had that name on it. I don't know why. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. But it would like the Helen Nelson, all this stuff was just assumed, because we have two departments that don't always play nice with, everyone else. So I am not in favor of this one either.
So should we make a motion that create criteria for naming?
I think we should look at it. I think we should set another meeting for next month, in February before the budget crisis starts, and come up with some kind of criteria, some way to name. But we also can get a better idea what the 150th is going to do. Are they going to pay for part of this kiosk or not? That would help us, I think, to make our decision, and then have some way to go from there.
I mean, just for, if there could, I mean, we probably need to, like, if you can make this a link to, could somebody speak with an Indian accent so I could get, have it linked to the website somehow too, right? Right.
Yeah.
If you want, right.
So
So
you could, yeah. So if you go to
hey, your grandfather served on the town council, blah, 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 blah. You type in Tim Mankey, John Donahue, right?
Yeah.
And it just, wherever that section of the website is. Right. And it's a file folder. I mean, it's nothing big.
Right. Yeah, we can discuss that. That's part of Scott Charlot's upcoming projects to redesign that website. So we can discuss that as they get into that project.
Yeah, because I think that would be cool to be, so you could pull up Newington's history and everybody who contributed to Newington, everybody who's been on the council, the years they've been on the council, the years they've been on the board. If there's pictures of them, that would be cool to throw up there. If there's, it maybe would be a thing to take, a picture of the entire council at one point, just so that we have every year there's a picture of the whole council. I think that would be kind of a good historical record. Which we don't usually do, I don't think.
No, I think the last one we did as a group for you guys was the Red X.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
But you said there were older pictures of the whole councils too, so it seems like they did do it at one point in time.
At one point they did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that it hasn't continued. That used to be a process of the annual report. The picture of the council for that term would be in there.
Because the pictures in the annual report that we got aren't the current council.
No, that's the older report.
Okay.
So if you look at the time period for it, that's why. It's going to be the reporting of the year behind. So that's 2021. We're not on the 21, 23 cycle yet.
Well, maybe we should, as part of the swearing in ceremony, have a joint picture of the council taken. It's with cell phones now, it's so easy to do.
Right.
So maybe we need to decide when we want to do that, like the third council meeting of the year.
Yeah.
Or something like that, so we know we're always doing it then.
That's a good idea. So make that part of the you're right, Sharon. Make it part of the process on a regular basis.
Right. Otherwise, we're going to forget every year anyway.
Right.
Well,
exactly. You're right.
We could try to do it. Well, of course, that ran over 2 days and we had all of our pictures taken for the website, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, it took a little longer than that too, because the vendor didn't get them to us. So.
Well, I'm just saying, if it was all, if we did that all in one day.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right. And then everybody was there and dressed up, because you have to tell me. So I put, big boy pants on.
Yeah. But I think I think you're right, Sharon. If we have it on a regular basis, it's whatever meeting of the council, whether it's the first meeting, the second meeting, or the, whatever. Right. First meeting in January, whatever. That's when we do the pictures, and that's when we do the pictures, and then have that on a regular basis. So.
No, I think that makes sense.
I like it.
Good.
Okay.
So anybody want to move that one, and we'll take care of this request?
Okay, we have the next. Yeah. So we're going to read this motion.
Sure. Recommend no action on the naming of a room for Mr. Aber.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. For
Motion
now.
carries.
For now, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, we're never going to name a room after him. If he gets recognized in some other medium, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think
we only really have 3 conference rooms.
Right.
To name it. And the town manager's conference room should stay the town manager's conference room, because that's the conference room the town manager uses the most often.
Right. I mean, people name everything: drinking fountains, hallway corners. I mean, we can get as minutiae as we want.
Yeah.
Depending on who's doing what.
Yeah, right.
And
Why,
that's what, you know,
why did I get a door and not a water fountain? Or, you know,
Yeah, well.
and we talked about doing that kind of a tree or some kind of a leaf or some kind of a thing, but that just way expensive. And even that would get, you have to have criteria for how you get a leaf or how you get a name.
Yeah.
So
But
somehow we have to have criteria.
That might make the most sense. You get a leaf, and then when you move and you do more, you head a committee, you lead or something, you get a branch or something.
Yeah. Maybe your leaf gets moved up the process.
Yeah, maybe.
A shrubbery.
Maybe.
Yeah,
it's
I think
certainly a good thought for the.
It's a good something to think about. So let's try to have a meeting next month, and maybe next that with the third Wednesday of the month at 6 o'clock, we'll have a quick meeting.
Okay.
You want to go for February 15th?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if we stay on Zoom, we'd be fine. That's actually because of the way the month falls, that'll actually be TPZ's night, so we won't be in a room, but we wouldn't have an effect on it.
Right. Okay.
We can do Zoom. I mean, they're not that.
Yeah. Okay.
Shouldn't be that. And that way, the 150th should have a meeting before then.
Yeah, they should meet on the 2nd. I hope. I'm gonna have to send out an email to Eileen and just.
Yeah. Well, because they have to do a final report to the council. We have to do a final.
Correct. Until they figured out what they're spending the rest of the funding on.
Right.
I'm stuck on that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've had that conversation with her already.
Okay.
So again, no public participation right now.
Right.
And if you somebody want to move a motion to approve the February 15th meeting?
Make a motion. We approve the next meeting for February 15th at 6 o'clock.
Second.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Perfect. I will send out a text document to you guys regarding the current policy that's in place that we've been utilizing as criteria.
Okay.
You guys can mark it up as you need to with tracking, and I can combine that and we can utilize that on the 15th.
Okay. Good to see your face, James.
You too.
Maybe you could have, James, you could have somebody else do it.
Do what?
Mark up what we send back.
Oh, no, well, you know what I mean. Heather will probably throw it together for me, but yes.
We got to spare you for the important stuff.
Yeah.
We got to let you get your rest so you can get your beatings on budget season.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. We're already starting those meetings with department heads right now. I've got those 3 of them tomorrow.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, get your rest. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, if you get a chance, James, I'll fill you in about the Parks and Rec board meeting.
Yeah, I saw a couple of things back and forth on that one, but yeah, if you want to do that offline once we're done here.
Yeah.
Once we adjourn.
Okay.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
6:21 p.m.
Okay.
Cool. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
We'll talk to you later.